Welcome to the Paranormal Bible Podcast.
Yeah.
This week,
Welcome, everybody.
we've got a
It's a
double feature.
double dose.
2 unsettling
Yeah.
flash fiction stories
2 for the price of 1?
for you.
Right.
So get
Yeah.
ready for
Yeah.
some weird tales, ghost stories, strange events.
Right.
That'll feel
Ripped right out of a
goes
block trip.
straight from the silver screen kind of stories.
Horror film.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I think folks are really going to dig these.
Okay, so our
Love it.
first probe
Yeah.
this week
Right.
takes us inside
Okay.
the infinite, mind-bending
Yeah.
Library of Babel.
The Library of Babel.
So picture this.
Okay.
It's absolute,
Right.
predictable order.
Okay.
But suddenly,
Uh-huh.
there's this book
All right.
that shows up
Yeah.
with terrifyingly accurate prophecies.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And we're going to...
It's-
Prophecies in the library are
You're talking about Thomas Weller,
Yeah.
a meticulous librarian.
a meticulous librarian.
Right.
Yeah.
Whose life takes a very dark turn
Okay.
after making a bizarre discovery.
With a discovery, yeah.
So what happens when
Yeah, so let me ask you this. What happens when
the rigid rules of this infinite library
the Library of Babel,
collide with a book that just
very unique place.
shouldn't even exist?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we got to think about what are the
Yeah.
implications
What does it mean
of knowing the future
to know what's going to happen
in a place where
in a place where everything's chaos?
on chaos.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So, I mean, the Library of Babel even.
Yeah. The Library of Babel
What out the prophecies.
is a paradox, right?
That's, yeah, very
I mean, you think about it.
strange place to be.
It's everything and it's nothing, right?
Yeah.
It's all possible knowledge.
Yeah, it's got
So it's also therefore all possible nonsense.
everything.
Right.
It's got all the answers.
Right. So if you introduce a
But it also
fifth element,
doesn't have any answer.
like a prophetic text,
Yeah.
into this kind of fluid environment, because
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
automatically, tension,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
bam, there it is.
It's a weird
Yeah.
place to be.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Our second story this week
Our second probe.
takes us to what
Yeah.
seems like a tranquil
Okay.
forest commune.
A forest commune. Okay.
But underneath
Underneath that,
this peaceful surface,
a peaceful surface.
there's a really disturbing influence
Yeah.
of a hypnotic whisper.
A hypnotic whisper.
And we're going to follow
So we're going with
Sarah Miller.
Sarah Miller.
She's an investigative reporter
Okay.
who looks beyond the
So she's
charismatic
she's digging deep.
facade
Yeah. All right.
of Pastor Thomas
Pastor Tommy.
and discovers something far more sinister
Oh.
than just simple manipulation.
I'm just manipulating folks. Okay.
So what is the source
All right. So what is the source
of this whisper?
of this whisper? Yeah.
And what does it reveal about
Life and temptation.
temptation?
Yeah.
So prepare to descend into a world
So get ready because
where the line between
we're going into guidance
a world where things get blurry.
and something ancient and malevolent
Yeah.
really blurs.
That line, it's hard to see sometimes.
Okay. Well, I think it's time to
Yeah, let's do it.
dive into our first
Live in.
paranormal probe. The Librarian of Babel, a prophecy in the pages. Okay.
The Librarian of Babel, a prophecy in the pages. All right.
Really?
So first,
We'll try to visualize
Yeah.
the Library of Babel.
we got to get the setting right.
I mean, imagine infinite hexagonal galleries
hexagonal galleries, and they just stretch endlessly.
stretching on forever, filled with everywhere you look, just shelves
Books.
stacked with books.
But here's the catch.
Okay.
Almost all of these books
Yeah.
are complete gibberish.
They're just gibberish.
Random
Just
combinations of letters.
random letters. Yeah.
Nonsense phrases.
Nonsense phrases. Yeah.
You know?
It's just, it's like the ultimate expression of
It's the ultimate
that's-
everything
and nothing.
expression
Of everything.
the potential for everything.
and nothing.
And also nothing.
You might.
I mean, think about this.
But
You might find like a book
a book of profound wisdom
with like amazing wisdom
right next to
one that's got nothing but the letter A.
it's the letter A.
Just A.
Repeated
Repeated over and over and over again.
Over and over again. I mean, our story even hints at like a whole treatise.
Or a a very lengthy treatise
on porridge.
on the temperature of porridge.
On the perfect temperature for porridge. I mean, come on.
It's bizarre.
That's the Library of Babel.
And that's the reality.
And that's the world that Thomas Weller lives in.
Thomas Weller lives in.
I mean, I think it's so important to understand, like,
Yeah.
Thomas,
Yeah.
you know, to understand
That is meek.
the sheer scale and randomness of
the library, right?
he's a librarian
Yeah.
who finds
You put a human in that environment, and they're just going to, like,
and
their predictable routines.
they're going to try and find meaning
right.
where there is none. And I
Yeah.
think that's what Thomas is doing.
His meticulous nature
Solving
is his way of navigating this chaos.
bizarre contents. He's trying to impose order
Right.
on something that is inherently uncontrollable.
But then we have Miss Eldridge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like,
And Miss Eldridge, right.
his predictability.
She says his predictability is a form of madness.
It's a form of madness.
It's so ironic, and it just highlights this tension, right?
Right.
Between structure and chaos.
Yeah. Juxtaposition there.
Our need for structure and the reality of the chaotic nature of everything. Right.
All right.
So is Thomas's order a
Right.
refuge, or is it a prison
World of nonsense.
that he built for himself?
And then he comes across
And then one day,
this book.
Thomas is going about his business in this ocean of nonsense, and he finds
gibberish.
something extraordinary.
It's a worn leather-bound book.
Worn leather-bound book.
That makes sense.
And it's not gibberish. It's got clear, chillingly accurate prophecies. Clear.
I mean, think about that.
Chillingly accurate prophecies.
A book that makes sense.
And you know that?
In a world of nonsense.
Something?
I mean, that right there
is wrong.
Is a sign.
Something is wrong.
Find something.
Right.
That makes sense.
And then to top it all off,
in this world of nonsense.
the flickering glyph.
And then it's got this
on the fine
flickering glyph on the spine.
It's like, okay.
It's just
this book is not playing by the rules.
A bad sign.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And almost immediately,
and then he's jarring discovery.
Isidore Finch.
He meets
one of the legendary eldest librarians.
Isidore Finch, one of the legendary eldest librarians.
These guys, they're like whispered about in a library.
You know, they say they've got
whispered about
this like deep, almost mystical understanding of the library. They know all the secrets.
Libraries, hushed galleries.
They know how it works.
You know, they're rumored to.
And Finch, he's got this intensity.
This deep, almost.
It's an aura about him.
Mystical understanding.
And his reaction to the book. It's fascinating.
The labyrinthine structure and secrets.
Remarkable.
Right.
But also troubling.
Yeah.
And then he says...
Has this intense aura.
It should not exist.
And his reaction...
It dictates.
...to the book is...
that one word.
Ambiguous.
Dictates.
You know,
I mean, that says it all.
He calls it remarkable.
Yeah.
But troubling.
So...
And that it should not exist.
Oh, right.
Because it dictates.
So Finch doesn't just, like, take the book.
It dictates.
He doesn't just confiscate it.
And
Finch doesn't just... this hidden place.
Take the book.
Called the sanctuary.
He doesn't confiscate it.
Right.
He takes Thomas to the sanctuary.
It's like
this
hidden place that's rumored...
For the eldest librarians.
To safeguard the library's most closely guarded secrets.
Like a place where they keep all the secrets of the library safe.
So imagine.
Like imagine this.
This hushed chamber.
In the dusty sunlight.
With dusty sunlight.
Coming through these ancient.
Filtering through.
Stained glass windows.
The ancient stained glass windows.
And the air is just thick.
And the air is thick with
the
scent of.
Old paper.
And this weird, like.
And then there's this
electric tang of ozone.
Almost electric tang of ozone.
Like it's a weird place. It's almost sacred.
A very unique atmosphere.
Yeah.
And it's in this
here
atmosphere that Finch reveals.
The book's power.
The book's power.
You know.
It can predict the future.
The power to predict the future.
Which, I mean, think about it. So it contradicts the nature of the library.
The library is chaotic.
It's all about randomness.
And then
he drops this bomb.
He puts forward this unsettling idea.
I think the book found you, Thomas.
As if the book found Thomas. As if there's a
There's a reason.
behind all of this.
Behind this discovery?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Finch...
So Finch being an eldest librarian...
He's an eldest librarian.
He represents...
He represents this...
like this next level understanding.
Deeper level of understanding.
Of how the library...
of how the library works.
Right.
He sees the bigger picture.
Yeah, and he immediately...
recognizes...
how important this book is.
Significance of this book.
Yeah, that's right.
It dictates, he says.
Dictates, yeah. And that suggests...
that means...
that the library...
a fundamental principle of randomness.
Fundamental principle is broken.
Of randomness.
Right.
Right.
And if the
everything's predetermined,
future is already written,
point.
what does that say
Right.
about free will?
Yeah. I mean, it makes you think about
In this infinite space
Right.
of possibility.
He understands the balance of the library.
And this book...
recognizes the danger
it's a threat
of this book.
to that balance.
But then he's hesitant
Yeah, but he doesn't want
to destroy
to
it.
destroy it.
He actually
He thinks it's part
views it
of
as part of this,
the glorious game
the glorious game
of the library's chaos.
of the library's chaos.
It's like, yeah,
A new player has entered the game,
it's this
Fascinating.
Things are going to get interesting.
albeit dangerous
Yeah.
anomaly.
Yeah.
What's interesting is Finch
And Finch, he notices
observing
Thomas's
obsession
Right.
with the book.
I mean, who wouldn't be obsessed with it?
Right. But he sees
The temptation of power.
that it represents
It's that power.
he power to know the future.
sees how the
That's intoxicating.
ability to know the future
Yeah.
is intoxicating.
It can really mess with your head.
It offers Thomas
Yeah.
a chance to transcend his
It's a chance for
mundane existence
to break free
within the library.
of this mundane existence.
Right.
Yeah.
Yet, despite seeing the inherent danger,
But even though he sees the danger,
Finch is
Finch can't bring himself
strangely hesitant.
to destroy it, to destroy the book. Yeah.
He's like, nah, this is part of the fun.
So the sanctuary itself
Sanctuary
offers this glimpse
is like a peek behind the curtain
into this.
in this hidden order
There's an order
that exists within
within the chaos.
the library.
Right.
Right.
There's a group of people
It's this group
who are dedicated to
Yeah.
understanding how the library works.
dedicated to understanding the deeper workings
And maybe
and
some
perhaps even containing its anomalies.
weirdness that happens.
Right.
Yeah.
And that ozone tang
That ozone thing.
is an intriguing detail.
That's so weird.
It suggests
What's that about?
there's some unique energy.
Is it like a special energy?
All right.
Or is it like
Even a byproduct
the
of
book?
unusual nature.
Yeah.
Right.
So Finch,
When he says the book found Thomas,
when Finch says that the book
that makes you think, right?
found Thomas,
Like
destiny
predetermination.
of destiny,
Right.
predetermination,
Is this all planned out?
right?
Is there a bigger plan?
And it further complicates
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, right?
these themes of free will.
About the nature of the library. Like, could it be
Nature of the library itself?
that the library itself has some kind of...
Could the library,
Yeah.
in its vastness,
Like, it's making choices. It's choosing things.
some form of agency?
It's a trippy thought, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then things take a turn.
Things get even weirder
Weirder
with the appearance
with the appearance of the author.
of the author.
And this is no ordinary writer.
Your average Joe.
This being
is described.
is described
Someone sitting at a desk with a typewriter.
as a scarecrow figure.
This is a being
M-
made of book pages.
Book pages.
Right.
And
With a voice that sounds like rustling
paper. That's like rustling paper.
And they claim
to be bizarre entities.
claims to be a mistake.
An experiment.
An experiment.
Who wanted to break free
to be free
of the library.
of the randomness
of
of the gibberish.
by writing
the book.
the book of changes.
The book of changes.
The prophetic text.
Right.
So-
the prophetic text.
I'll
So
say
the
it again.
author's physical form. It's a metaphor, right? It's like they're literally
is a metaphor.
the library.
They're literally made of story
Okay. As a
collection
Yeah.
of stories.
right.
Whoa. And they want freedom from their
Yes.
own creation.
Yeah.
It's like
It makes you think about like
a very strange meta narrative
authorship,
control.
even in a system
Yeah.
that seems
It makes you wonder
infinite and impersonal.
about authorship,
Right.
control.
So is the author
Even within
French
this
slaves make
seemingly
illicit in it.
an impersonal system.
You're not going to escape.
Right.
Are they trying to change the library.
Is the author a prisoner
Yeah.
of the library?
That's a good question.
Or a force seeking to reshape
It's
it?
the author's motivation. It's not malice.
The author's motivation.
Which is kind of a twist.
Is.
You'd expect. Like, evil author. Okay.
It's this profound loneliness.
But no, it's loneliness.
This desperate
yearning to be noticed.
Wanting to be seen.
You know, in this vast,
within
the difference.
The library's vast indifference.
No, right.
By introducing.
So they try to predictability.
Introduce predictability.
They want to shake things up.
This unbearable loneliness.
Make a little.
To create ripples.
In
this otherwise still pond of infinite possibilities.
Oh, it's kind of sad.
There's this strange, almost tragic.
Yeah, it's like a tragic figure.
To the being's desire.
Yeah.
You know, to think that.
Loneliness.
In an infinite space.
Loneliness in this infinite space.
It's a powerful concept.
And it's not because they're evil.
And it makes you think, right?
Or that they want
the consequence of our actions.
Even when we have
good intentions.
They noticed. Yeah. So the desire for, we can still mess things up.
Meaning and recognition.
Yeah.
Can have.
Like a butterfly effect.
Unintended far-reaching effects.
Can have huge consequences.
Especially within.
A system.
In a system.
As complex as the light.
Delicate balance.
Right. Yeah.
So we come through, they realize.
They can't erase.
The big showdown.
Right. It's like. What's done is done.
The echoes of prophecy.
Let's do it. The prophecies are out there.
But this one, expert speaker.